We have seen so many examples of expats who have lived here for years and have imbibed the Emirati culture with openness. Our guest today is one such woman whose spirit for adventure, compassion for animals and a desire to succeed got her to an unknown land which she calls her home now. Hi Viviane, welcome to Connect.
Welcome to the Camel Farm.
Thank you so much for having us here. I'm very excited to be at this camel farm looking at all the animals around. So were there any childhood memories or influence that drew you closer to these animals?
I always loved animals. I always had animals at home. I even raised a baby sheep. He was only 1 day old and I raised him until he was adult. I had a fox at home. I always had animals. I wanted to become a vet. I did 2 years of study to become a vet, but it was very difficult in France to get into the veterinary school. So I eventually did not get in, and I started to work in the hospitality industry. And I always loved camels, especially since I arrived here in the UAE. But I couldn't find any places where I could get close to camels. So I thought if I can find an existing camel farm, I can convince the owner to open his farm to the public. I ended up going to the Sheikh Hamdan Heritage Center. I was lucky enough to meet the CEO and I explained my project and he said, we're going to try to help you. 2.5 years later, we opened the camel farm. So we opened in November 2018. When I met the owner, he only had a few camels at the back part of the farm. But this area was completely empty. And I told him it would be good if we can add some small farm animals, because for the family with young children, it's more a complete experience.
There's something known as a camel hugging session as one of the experiences at the farm. Tell us more about that.
When I started this farm, when we were still building, I used to come every day and go into the camel pen. And there was always one camel who would always come to me and smell me and be close to me. It was Fifi. And Fifi was always very lovely, very friendly. And I noticed that some camels, like some humans, they're very friendly and very curious. So I started to think, maybe I can do the camel hugging therapy, because it's something, this big creature, they are so calm and so lovely. It's quite something special to be able to come close to them. So that's why I'm doing the camel hugging therapy with only 3 selected she camels.
Camels are quite smart, because I saw one of them being able to open the door by themselves. I think that was Fifi.
That's Fifi, that's Fifi. Fifi, she's our celebrity. Yeah. She's very friendly, but when it comes to eating, oh my God, there's nobody else that counts. She has to have the most food. I think it's a little bit like humans. It all depends how you treat them, they will treat you back.
Has amongst all the visitors that you've had at the farm, is there any guest who surprised you with what they did?
One day, a gentleman arriving at the camel farm wearing a tuxedo. And I thought, oh, he must be lost. And I asked him, how can I help you? And he said, well, actually, I would like to make my wife's dream come true. And I said, oh yes, and what is it? He said, she would love to have a photo in her wedding dress with a camel. And I said, okay, we can arrange that. When would you like to come? And she said, she's here. She's at the back, she's in the car. She's already in her wedding dress. And we took them at the back of the farm where there's a nice hills, still dunes. You can still get there by walking. So she has a photo in her wedding dress, totally unannounced.
So apart from camel riding, animal feeding, camel hugging, are there any other experiences that your farm offers?
We do short camel riding inside the farm, like we do especially for the children. And we also do authentic Bedouin camel riding. Like this camel just came back from 1 hour camel riding in the beautiful desert behind the farm.
But you've given us a great experience here, and thank you so much for having us once again, and wish you all the very best in all that you're planning here at the farm. May you have many more interactive experiences for your guests. Thank you so much, Viviane.
Well, thank you for visiting us.